You want to be a person, don't be too good. If you're a good person, especially if you're in competition to be successful, you'll lose. You'll always be stepped on and won't know when you can step up. Not to mention, some of my friends who I know are really smart. They have everything to be successful, but why aren't they successful? It may sound cliché to say too good, but in reality, overly good people are always trampled on. So, there's a psychological study that shows 3 extremely negative traits if taken to the extreme. But they're always present in successful people. It's called the Dark Triad: Narcissism, Psychopathy, and Machiavellianism. World figures like Steve Jobs, Elon Musk, Putin, Kim Jong-un, and honestly, almost everyone successful in the world, in my opinion, must have elements of this Dark Triad. And I'll explain to you why evil people are more successful. Why do people who seem narcissistic, psychopathic, and Machiavellianism, those who always seem to be above average, succeed? Actually, it's simple, because to be truly successful, there's something called competition. To win the competition, to reach 1% above, you'll need to use your elbows. And yes, in the real world, there's always elbowing. I'll explain them one by one, and you have to be honest. If I describe people like this, and you're one of them, comment below. The first is narcissism. These are people who have an unreasonably high view of themselves. In the worst case, if everyone already says you're stupid, and you really can't do it, but you're narcissistic, you'll say everyone else is wrong, and I'm always right. I'm great. It's evident in small things, like looking in the mirror often, taking selfies, always praising themselves, always asking people to praise them later. I'll explain why this trait makes people more successful. But let's move on to the second, psychopathy. When people hear this, they think of scary, psychopathic, but in reality, being psychopathic isn't a mental disorder, it's not a mental illness. But the easiest way to describe psychopathy is that these are people who have antisocial tendencies, or more specifically, antisocial personality disorder, in short. They are antisocial. They don't care about others. If it harms or hurts others, well, that's that. Their indifference is usually quite high. These are the types who are very strong with their "I don't give a fuck." Now, the last trait, Machiavellianism. Basically, these are people who always want to be in a position of power, and they're willing to do anything. Manipulate people, harm others to stay there. In the worst case, of course. Anyway, to win, to have power. Now, can you see why these 3 traits make evil people more confident, more ambitious, and more focused than others? Especially compared to good people: narcissistic, Machiavellian, ambitious, psychopathic, focused. So, can you imagine why you have to be evil to be successful? Even though it's controversial. I'll discuss it further later, but let's break it down step by step. More detail. Narcissistic people have self-confidence. Very high self-confidence. They can make firm decisions and persuade others to believe in their ideas. Essentially, they are charismatic and can attract people's attention. Why? Because they believe strongly in themselves. They are willing to take high risks. These are the types who are not afraid to speak up, express their opinions, negotiate, and sell. The second one, Machiavellianism. These are people with strong strategic thinking. Why would they do everything? And they're cunning. They can speculate gains, losses, advantages, disadvantages, detailed. Because they don't want to lose, they want to profit. These people are smart in handling conflicts. Their rational ability is very strong. Psychopathic people are resilient. They don't care if they fail. They'll try again, and try again. They rarely regret their actions. They are good at finding weaknesses in others or competitors. And these 3 things make evil people more confident, more ambitious, and more focused. What's the goal? To win the competition in business, work, investments, and even now, it's seen as a competition. So, do I have to be evil like that? So, if I'm already a good person, do I have to be evil? What if there are no good people in this world? Then what? Let's take it slow. The bottom line is that these toxic or evil traits have aspects that can be beneficial for various needs. Everyone in the world knows that the main goal of a CEO, entrepreneur, or a great business person is to make decisions. They can make strategic decisions quickly and calculatedly, and take risks. Secondly, they have to be able to lead people. People who can do these two things have charismatic traits, self-confidence, while good people, who are usually too nice, usually don't have charisma because they lack self-confidence and are afraid to take risks, thinking they might be wrong. Steve Jobs was very narcissistic. And in my opinion, he had all 3 points, even all 3 traits of the Dark Triad. He talked about Apple as if it was everything. Do you think people didn't stress working with him? They were very stressed, but he was successful. Right? Good people, those who are afraid, who don't dare to take risks, usually won't be as successful as those who are overly good, but at the same time, they won't lose as much. But I need to add a disclaimer here. I'm not encouraging people to be evil. The key is not to become evil but to understand the traits. Why? So that we can compete wherever we are. Qualities like self-confidence or high self-awareness are very present in narcissistic people. But do we have to be narcissistic to have high self-awareness? Not really. Confidence and self-esteem are traits of narcissists or evil people, which they naturally possess. Why? Because evil people look down on others. If they didn't have a high opinion of themselves, how could they be evil? Generally, it's like that, but you don't have to be like that. Point 2. What makes them more successful is that they're manipulators. They're excellent communicators. They have charisma or charm, things like confidence and, in the worst case, no morals. Yes, they might even lie to get what they want. Of course, they can be successful. But that's not what I want you to do. Being a good manipulator means being a good communicator. You can convey what others want to hear, not just what you want to say. Basically, people who don't care about others make you more successful. Why? There's research on this. People with high agreeableness, those who always say yes, usually don't have better careers than those who occasionally say no and don't care about others. What I mean is we need to know when to draw the line. I know what I hold and I don't harm anyone. It's a good trait that you can learn from evil people. Maybe this video seems too extreme, like, hey, you have to be aware and be evil. That's not it. More precisely, don't be too good. Because we can't control this world. To compete, consider your coworkers, business partners, and competitors. If you're too good, you'll be stepped on. That's the point. To be successful, we need to compete, and that's the reality. But you can disagree. Comment below if you found this useful. Like, comment, subscribe. See you guys in the next video.